Hello, I'm Aurora Davidson, CEO of Amerigo. Today, I'm very pleased to report that MVC, our copper recovery plant in Rancagua, Chile, is fully reconnected to Chile's central power grid. It's also great to report that full production from fresh and historical tailings at MVC resumed on July the 22nd. MVC lost its connection to the central power grid on June 23rd when three high-voltage towers owned by MVC collapsed following severe flooding from heavy rains in central Chile. This situation caused a total power outage at MVC. The magnitude of the flooding was tremendous, as you can see in this video of the Los Leones estuary adjacent to the plant. I showed this footage in our previous video and urge you to watch it again so you can see the extensive impact in and around the plant. Let me give an indication of how quickly things changed at MVC. During 2 days, almost 300 millimeters, or 12 inches of rain, fell in the town of Sewell, 60 kilometers east of the plant in the Andes Mountains. This was almost 70% of this area's annual rainfall, only over the heaviest 2 days of rain. Sewell is at 1,500 meters higher elevation than the MVC plant, and there was no doubt the direction all that water would come. Because of this, the water containing the Coliguas historical tailings facility increased by 250% in less than a day and kept growing. The earlier video of that raging water was one of the input estuaries into Coliguas, so you can see how this was possible. Looking toward the back of this photo, the tailings facility is visible, brimming with water. I think that the magnificent rainbow you see here is a sign of our good fortune. The good fortune that our talented teams would generate through their efforts to complete repairs so quickly. After the grid connection was knocked out, emergency power supplies took immediate effect to prevent any negative environmental impact. And in the following days, MVC quickly secured a secondary power supply, allowing us to process fresh tailings from El Teniente while repairs were completed. During these days, from July the 6th to July the 21st, MVC produced 90,000 pounds of copper daily. This mitigated the negative impact production of the flooding. As we announced a few days ago, Amerigo reduced its annual production guidance by 3% to 60.5 million pounds of copper. This was attributable to the lost production from the flooding. However, our 4% production outperformance through May of this year partially offset the overall impact on guidance. Going forward, our reduced 2023 production guidance for copper remains in place, and Amerigo's original guidance of 1 million pounds of molybdenum remains unchanged. Because the disruption spanned parts of both June and July, there will be an impact on our second and third quarter results. However, this impact will not affect Amerigo's long-term business and the company's capital return strategy. Shareholders of Amerigo should know that the quarterly dividend is secure. Now I want to share some visuals of the work to reconnect MVC to the central power grid. This series of pictures show the repair and replacement of 7 high-voltage towers in only 9 days. As a reminder, flooding over the north bank of the Cachapoal River was responsible for ground failure under a set of MVC transmission towers. These towers toppled over and cut the plant off from the Chilean electrical grid. The tremendous swaths of discoloration you see along the riverbed indicate the breadth of the flooding and the sediment carried with the waters of the mountains. Recognizing the unique opportunity presented by the forced shutdown, we decided to upgrade our infrastructure and increase our safety factor against a similar event in the future. For example, the 3 toppled towers were replaced with upgraded units in a new location, even farther from the northern riverbank. This required a change to the power cable routing that increased the distance between the tower sets by over 130 meters. This aerial imagery, which starts at the northern set of towers, show how much additional distance and safety we have added by placing these towers in a new position. The higher weight and stresses from the increased wire distances necessitated taller and stronger towers. So the new steel towers are 30 meters high, 5 meters higher than the originals. On the other side of the river, on the cliff tops, we replaced a cluster of 3 undamaged towers with newer, higher quality structures. This ensures we have new units on both ends of the power lines which now run 1.3 kilometers across the river. Finally, we added an additional tower to strengthen the transmission layout and installed all new power cables. The extra safety designed in these upgraded repairs did come at an increased cost over what simple replacement repair work would have cost. The cost was $1.1 million, but we didn't hesitate to make these changes, knowing we could never make such comprehensive upgrades during one of our annual 8 days maintenance shutdowns. This is another example of Amerigo's proactive risk mitigation strategy, similar to the pipeline flotation project we highlighted in our previous video. As I share with you these images that document the process of MVC coming back to life, I'd like to say again how very proud I am of the swift response from all our team members in Chile. They have worked long days and put bright ideas on the table, allowing us to reconnect to the power grid as quickly as possible, minimizing lost production. Please notice the challenging working conditions at the south set of towers on the mountaintop and also on the valley below where the flooding occurred. Making repairs of this magnitude in such a short period was a truly remarkable feat for everyone involved. We will benefit for many years from having a more robust transmission line infrastructure at MVC. To finish up, I'd like to thank you for following our updates regarding this historical event at MVC. We are glad to report that business is back to normal and that our infrastructure is stronger than before the flooding. We look forward to continuing to report positive news to our shareholders in the coming months, and thank you again for your interest in Amerigo.